Hello and welcome to another episode of the playonultra podcast. This is episode 147.
Ooh.
Indeedy.
I like that. 1 + 3 + 3, man.
No Sarah today, finally. She's like moving and stuff. She has like grown
She's
adult people.
getting a better life for herself.
Yeah. Well, me and Full is stuck here. Yeah, so no Sarah today. But yeah, you got your two favorite guys, I suppose.
The two favorite guys.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the guys, we're the two favorites.
Yep. So yeah, what have you been doing?
So I've been super busy with work, which means I haven't really played video games or even recorded or published anything. I played a very little bit of Battle Chasers. I'm close to finishing that up. I played a little bit of StarCraft 2 some more.
Nice.
Still just doing that like once a week. Mostly so when I wasn't working, I would come home and wouldn't have the energy to record. So what I would do is, I don't remember if I talked about this last podcast. I think I did. The new Warhammer release has been coming out, which is a lot of really cool Goblin minis. So I've been assembling those. I finished a group of Boingrot
You have to assemble
Bounders. Them. You have to glue them together and then paint them.
I thought it just comes as a figurine.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, considering how much you pay for them.
But isn't it just like sockets and you just shove them in or something? No?
Modern ones.
It's not like Gundam, right?
You do have to glue them.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's. I don't think it's. I haven't done a Gundam. I don't think it's as minute as Gundam because you're assembling like
it's very
hordes of things.
Yeah.
But it is non-trivial. I think they come.
Under figurines quite small, like some of them.
Yeah. So like here's like one sprue, and like on this, you would have like in here you'd have like a bunch of like heads and like some bodies and then something else, and then you'd
hit them,
clip them out and glue them together.
I legit thought that you seriously just buy the figurines because they're not that big anyways. Unless
they're very small. Depends on the figurine. Most like the infantry are very small.
There are hobbyists that like to mix and match parts.
Yes, there's a lot of custom conversions for sure. Nice. Also because like a lot of these kits can be used to assemble different units. So like this box is for the like cavalry kind of, and there's two different cavalry. There's like the heavy cavalry who are a little slower but they have lances, and the light cavalry which just kind of are faster and have like little swords. So depending upon which one you assemble, you have a bunch of bits left over from the one you didn't assemble, and so longtime collectors and builders have a lot of just bits left over, and they'll like make custom minis or like combine minis and that kind of stuff. And there's some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. So I built one box of these guys who I adore because they're like these little like red spherical things just kind of bounce around. They're full of teeth. They're very fun and zany and cool. And
how much is a box like that?
This box I think goes for $40 to $50.
I assume so.
Warhammer is the most expensive by far. But in my opinion, they make the highest quality. But like in terms of detail, they're definitely the number one leader as well. So
that's a pretty standard price, right?
I mean, that is a standard price for
like a box of 10. Oh, okay.
Like if you were doing into a box of 10 of like War Machine or something, it might be a little cheaper. Actually, I don't even know if that's true anymore. In general, Warhammer's more expensive though.
And that's the fantasy medieval one.
Yeah, I mean, but 40K is similarly priced. Yeah, but what I was showing off was the fantasy stuff. And so I finished these guys. Started working on a bunch of trolls, which are cool. And while I'm doing this, I'm watching anime. So I started watching a Netflix show called maybe I mentioned this last week as well. Called Violet Evergarden.
Is that about with a killer android trying to adjust to normal life?
I believe that's how I described it, more or less. But she's not. She is a full human. She just has mechanical arms.
Oh, okay, all right.
But she's been like so brainwashed to be like a soldier that she's like what is human, that kind of stuff. So she is basically an android, but not literally. Because it's it's set like in the like World War I era, maybe World War II era. So like early 1900s, late 1800s kind of thing. Not sci-fi. So I'm watching that. I was watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So like a long time ago, I watched the first 2 seasons of JoJo and like the first 7 episodes of the 3rd season, and I stopped I don't know why. I assume life just kind of happened because season 3 is the best season, or at least as from what I saw.
Of
So
which
I'm rewatching
series? There's multiple
JoJo's
series,
Bizarre
right?
Adventure. There is like JoJo's like Stardust Crusaders or something. I don't know what that is though.
Each series focus on a specific like manga or arc or
Yes.
something.
Well, so at least from what I've seen of the first 3 seasons, it's like it just follows like his bloodline, like great grandfather JoJo to to other JoJo to like Joseph Joestar. Like they're not the same name, but they're almost like the same person who just like
the one that I know is the guy that wears like that cap, kind of bluish.
Yeah, that's the main guy. Because that's when that's when the show gets super off the rails and cool. Like, I mean, it's kind of that way all the time, but that's when it's the most like it's at its most extreme is with that guy. It's like the most magical and stuff happening. So I'm rewatching season 2, just because I realized I forgot a lot of stuff, and then I'm gonna hopefully continue watching it. I also started rewatching Rick and Morty because Lady Hamner hadn't seen it, so
is a new one coming?
It's been fun. Yes.
No dates.
That'll be good.
Announced, right?
Not that I know of. I also watched The Orville season 1. I didn't finish it. I watched the first 3 episodes when it first came out, and then I watched like 4 more episodes, and it's still good. I'm liking that because season 2 came out, so I want to watch all The Orville. And I should probably watch Star Trek Discovery. I've been hearing good things about season 2. But I think that's it for shows. I watched. Remember the Fire Festival?
No.
FYRE. It was that like Instagram music festival that like a bunch of rich kids went off to some island to have a festival, and the organizers just completely dropped the ball, and there was no music, no food,
there
like
was
no shelter.
There was supposed to be like a bunch of big artists going over to perform and stuff, right?
Basically, just lied all the time and charged like $3,000.
Wasn't it like last
ticket.
year?
Yes.
What is that new news about it?
Netflix came out with a documentary about it.
That's interesting.
It's pretty interesting to watch like a huge sociopath just like lie his pants off all the time and like scam people. Because like it's not like, at least for me going into it, I didn't know how much of it was a scam and how much it was just somebody being incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it's mostly a scam to me.
Because they're mostly scamming rich kids.
Yeah, he's like scamming a bunch of different people. It's like I don't know what he thought the payoff would be or how it was going to work out really, but like so initially he had this he was making this product called Fire, which was supposed to be like the Uber of talent recruitment. So like if you wanted to say, hey, I need to get so and so performer to perform at my gig, I'll book them through Fire. Like that was his goal, was to make this. And so then he's like, yeah, we'll throw this Fire Festival.
Is an interesting concept, to be honest.
Yeah, that could potentially work. But so he threw the Fire Festival to try and promote the app. But he just lied about having resources to investors, and so he got more money. But then the lies eventually just caught up with him, and he couldn't pull it off because he kept saying more and more stuff and like promising more and more things. So now he's in jail for 6 years, and they kind of had to scrap the app because like the whole thing was just tainted. Like he had employees, like he'd borrow their credit cards and like rack up like $180,000 of debt on their credit card to pay for stuff for Fire Festival. So he's a piece of crap who deserves to be in jail. But it's a good documentary. Apparently Hulu also came out with another documentary on Fire like a couple days before the Netflix one dropped, and apparently it has more, like some juicier footage on it, but they talk to the main bad Fire guy's like friend, who's like almost even worse than he is, and they paid him to be on their movie. So they're like, people are like, no, don't give that guy money. He's like, he's almost even worse. And so the Hulu one's kind of getting some kickback from that. But it has some juicy stories I hear, but I don't know what to believe because that guy's a huge liar, like one of the bigger liars. So I don't even know.
Con man gonna con.
Yeah.
Talking about documentaries.
Yeah.
So there's this documentary called Detained, I believe, made by an Irish filmmaker.
Okay.
They've been announced that is one of the nominees for short film for the Oscars in the short film category. One of the nominees, and
a short documentary.
The subject though is really disturbing. So in 1993, a 2-year-old toddler was kidnapped by two 10-year-old boys and
oh God, no! I know this story. It's so
tortured
sad.
and murdered.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Okay, so
I hate this story so much.
Yeah, so apparently the mom of the victim is like trying to get it out of the Oscar nominee list because she, number one, I get it. Number two, the parents of the victims were not consulted.
Oh jeez.
And they didn't even know it was being made until it's pretty much been made.
Oh jeez.
So yeah, and she's like saying like, it's despicable to see somebody profiting from like such a horrific incident kind of thing, and the filmmaker's response to that is, this is a non-profit film, nobody's profiting from it, no money, but like that's not true. Yeah, your name is gonna come out there.
Yeah, exactly. There's publicity.
We're talking about it right now.
You're right. It's not like a straight 1-to-1 like financial gain you can measure, but like
people gotta understand profit doesn't just mean money into pockets. Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, that's pretty. I read up on the case, and oh my god, that's so fucked up.
Well, at least now I know not to watch that documentary, because I remember I think when that story happened or something. I remember like the first time being exposed to that story. I don't think I actually cried, but like it bummed me out for like the whole rest of the day. It's just a fucked up story.
Because the fucked up thing is, it's 2 years old, but also the perpetrators are 10 years old, so it's just fucked up all around.
Yeah,
everything's fucked up about that.
That's almost like, but even worse than those two girls who like, did they murder that other girl for the Slender Man or just like hurt her a lot? I don't remember.
Never heard that.
So like
wait,
two
murder
girls
for Slender Man?
They like two girls. They were like in middle school, so they were pretty young. I think middle school, maybe like freshmen in high school. They like lured a third girl. Maybe they were in, yeah. They lured a third girl into the forest. This is like up like in the northern part of the country, and they were gonna like sacrifice her. Yes.
Okay.
They're gonna sacrifice her to Slenderman, and they like stabbed her. And I can't remember. I don't think she died. I think she's like crawl to the road like bloody and like get help.
Fuck.
And so like
hell.
Yeah. So that also is a documentary. I'm pretty sure, on Netflix called like Hail the Slenderman, for the Slenderman, maybe just Slenderman. I don't know what it's called. But that one's kind of interesting. Nobody died.
Started as
it's not as bad.
Free to play browser-based game or something.
It's a copy pasta originally, just like scary fan fiction, and then it became stuff. Yeah.
It's a fucking movie now.
All the good documentaries are sad. There's no good happy documentaries. It's like not a thing.
I guess on animals maybe.
Maybe. Not even that. Like, there's this really popular bird, maybe not really popular bird, but every now and then on Reddit, like very infrequently, I'll see a post of this bird. I can't remember, it's like the great hornbill? I don't remember what it's called, but it looks like a cartoon bird. Like, it's so weird, because it looks like almost like a Muppet. It's like a huge beak, and the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh, that bird's really interesting looking. And then I happened to see some documentary where it had that bird, and it lives like in Africa normally or something like that. And in the nest were two baby birds, and the mama like went away to like hunt for some food, and the babies start kind of fighting, and the bigger baby like throws the smaller baby out of the nest, and then like the camera pans over and the mom's just watching. It's like, and the mother watches and gives food to the winner, and it's like, fuck that. Like, you're a terrible mom. Like, I understand it's nature, it's normal, but I don't, that sucks. Like, that makes me mad. Like, especially when like cute animals are like the biggest dicks like that. Like hippos, I watched like a dad hippo like murder a baby hippo before it could grow up to become like a threat to him. Like, oh, I used to like hippos. Every animal's a dick.
Is it the hippo's kid?
No.
Oh, it's a different kid.
The different
and from another dad. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hippos are dangerous as fuck.
They are the most dangerous animal in Africa, I believe. Yeah. They're pretty cool. I really like them.
I mean, the one thing I always quote is Steve Irwin, the fucker that wrestles with crocodiles, said he doesn't fuck with hippos. That's saying something. So yeah, that's a good way to start a podcast, I guess. Just a bunch of grim shit.
Did we watch anything happy? I watched a dumb documentary about Bill Murray. Oh yeah, I saw you posting about it. I guess it finished or something?
Yeah, it's the last, the season finale. It's a 44-minute special.
thing I saw was them meeting somebody really big.
White Diamond?
White Diamond. That's the last thing I saw. How far behind am I? Like a whole season?
Okay, so... Oh, no. You are 2 or 3 normal episodes behind, and then the 44-minute special. That's all you have. So I think you have like an hour or so of watch time to go. Cool. Oh man, the finale is so good. There's a new fusion, and it's so fucking awesome.
Is it all of them into Captain Planet?
I can't say, can I? A fusion is a pretty big thing about Steven Universe.
Is it? But is it more than 2 people?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's pretty fucking
I like
cool,
it when because they can have fusions confuse, right?
Fusions can fuse. Yeah, Garnet can fuse.
Is that a different thing than if, like, let's say, so Garnet fuses with Steven, let's just say randomly. Do we know, does that create the same being as if an unfused Garnet, all 3 of those people had fused together? I feel like it's probably the same thing, like mathematically.
Yeah, probably. Even just a normal fusion, they're kind of like a different being, right?
Yes.
It's like 2 different, but also the same. It's something that I still can't really grasp, honestly.
It's a I don't know. It's an
interesting concept.
I think it's just like, I almost feel like it was stolen from like Tumblr, like, because people have always been drawing like fusions of characters since Tumblr was a thing. Like, let's make a show just all about it, where we fuse the characters in its canon, and then people can speculate on the ones we don't happen to show.
So yeah, Steven Universe, it's amazing. Go watch it. The finale is really good. It's a damn good finale. And it's 44 minutes straight, so there's no waiting. The movie, at the end of the finale, it showed that the movie is coming out in March or May or something.
I didn't know they were making a movie.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a movie. And apparently Sarah said that season 6 is like, they signed up for season 6, so...
Oh, so it's not the finale. It's just the season
finale. I thought it was a series finale, but I believe that it was supposed to be until they signed up for season 6. The Cartoon Network, I mean.
Oh, that's a little weird from a writing perspective. Oh, that's not one big thing I did since the last podcast. Do you guys know, or did you ever watch a sketch comedy show from the 90s called Kids in the Hall?
No.
Yeah, probably not. Like, the joke is, if Monty Python is the Beatles of sketch comedy, Kids in the Hall is like the Duran Duran. So you might have heard of them, maybe.
I think I've seen clips on YouTube about them.
Okay. Yeah, it's a sketch comedy show, so it's very clippable. They're Canadian. Anyway, Kevin McDonald is one of the members of that. He's been in some Disney things. Like, he was the green alien from Lilo and Stitch, like the assistant kind of guy. With like 2 tongues, who cross-dresses. Anyway, this month in San Francisco is the SF Sketchfest, and so a bunch of people are in town just doing things. Like, there's a lot of podcast live recordings and stuff. He was in town doing a workshop, and so I was in that workshop, so that was kind of cool to meet him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Did you watch Steven Universe? What else did you watch? Or read?
No, it's just
or
that.
Do?
That's it, honestly. I play more Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm like 50 hours in.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm 50 hours in. There's a lot of stuff to do because it's an open world Assassin's Creed game. So I understand why they call it a more RPG iteration of the franchise, but it's not really. So when I think about an RPG, I think about, really highly customizable. To be fair, this one has some pretty cool stuff you can do with the characters. So like you have helmet, chest guard, shin guards, and gloves that you can change. Cool. And so every time you change the gear, it will change the look, right? But the super cool thing is you can individually change the look of each gear without changing the stats.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
It's so awesome. So if you get like this like pirate chest gauntlet, pirate chest piece thing, right? You essentially unlock that look. So when you change to a better equipment, but you still like that look, you can go back to that look. Super cool. I really like that. And I only found out about the feature 35 hours in.
That's funny. Because I like in Dark Souls and like Monster Hunter, I'm always playing like the fashion frame, fashion souls, fashion hunter. Like
in Dark Souls, you can't do that, right? You have to choose.
You can. Oh, sorry. Yes.
You can't change the look of the gear.
Correct.
Okay. But WoW, you can.
You can now. Vanilla, you couldn't.
Not
now
cheap
you can.
to do that, right? Depends.
It's not too bad. It's not. I wouldn't say it's cheap to me anyway. But I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, I just love it when the game gives you a way to customize your character like that for free.
It's a lot of fun. It's nice.
And then you can also like hide. You can literally hide every piece of gear as well.
For single player games, there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah. It's just I really like that about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can also do the same with the weapons, but the weapons don't really matter much to me. The armor matters way more to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And in Odyssey, there's like, there's the whole, they kind of market it as like, oh, you can make decisions now, yada, yada, yada. You can, and some of the decisions are big, but they don't really matter in a way. Not in the way like how other RPGs matter, like The Witcher 3, it really matters in like top-down turn-based RPGs like those Pillars of Eternity, those kind of also matters. At least the one I'm playing now, Tyranny. And this one is just like, it's nice to have the option, but it doesn't really matter in the end. And then you can romance a bunch of people, and then sometimes like I try to romance this person, and then I don't eventually get to be with a person, and I don't know what I did wrong. There's just this whole like a lot of surface stuff, and I don't know what's going on underneath. But with other RPGs, you kind of know what the results of each decision will be, roughly. But this one is just like, it's a very linear open world action game, but on the surface they just give you a couple of decisions that don't really matter. It's fine, but in the end, it's still a straight up Assassin's Creed open world action game.
It's one of those things that doesn't ruin the game in any way, really.
Doesn't ruin the game,
but it's like, it could have been something. So it's almost annoying to have it there and not be good.
Exactly. And also one of the things I don't really like about it is the writing of literally every other character. Main character's great. The other characters, not so much. And I guess it's just they're good at making action games. They're good at making open world action games. They're not RPG makers. So yeah. I started playing another game on my Switch called Sushi Striker.
Oh.
It was originally on 3DS, and then they ported it to the Switch. Sushi Striker is weird. It's one of those weird Japanese games. So basically you play like people went to war for sushi or some shit, and there's like sushi sprites, like spirits that can create sushi out of thin air, and when you battle, you go into this like special world, and there's just a bunch of like sushi conveyor belts in front of you, and what you have to do is to eat. So it's like a puzzle combat kind of thing, right? So on each conveyor belt there's like 5. You know how like sushi plates have different colors?
Yeah.
You have to match all the same colored ones, and then the more you match, the more like of a combo you have, right? So you eat that, and then you stack the empty plates on like your table, and then you throw the empty plates at the opponent. It's a pretty funny game.
Nice.
It's actually pretty solid. I do recommend it if you like, weird Japanese game, but also into like some puzzle combat kind of stuff. It's pretty solid. And then like you can unlock different sprites, and when you eat, you like increase this like skill gauge, and then you can use your skills, those kind of stuff. It's some weird ass shit, but I like it.
Does it have like a story, like progression, like things get harder, or?
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
Cool.
It's like level based, but there's like a story and stuff. So yeah, Sushi Striker, go check it out. It's weird. But I do think so you know how the Nintendo Switch handheld mode has a touchscreen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was originally built for the 3DS, so it feels much better using like the 3DS touchscreen.
That makes sense.
Versus like using the left analog stick, because it feels really sensitive. Like, I want to choose certain plates and it doesn't go where I want it to go. So I feel like it's optimized for a touchscreen. So that might be that issue, but
I definitely have that. I've had that feeling before playing PC games that were originally like mobile games or tablet games or something. Because like usually the giveaway is those games are much more prone to like click and drag, and it's not intuitive to me on PC because like I'm not tapping and holding.
Yeah, and also like things are far away.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, things are far away, and sometimes they just straight up never change the wording from the mobile game. Like type your screen. No, motherfucker, I'm on PC. And tapping my screen. So yeah, I did that. A couple of new games released this week. Slay the Spire came out of early access. It's a dungeon crawling deck building game.
I have a couple of friends really into it. I didn't realize it was out of early access.
Yeah, and also they announced it for Switch. So yeah, if you're into a handheld version, that's that.
It definitely sounds cool. Okay, get it for less than $50.
Pupunoob, that looks really nice. It's a 2D puzzle exploration game, and like the look of it just looks cute, and like it's been getting a lot of good reviews. It's also on the Switch and Xbox and Windows, and PS4 are gonna come out soon. And the biggest one this week is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Like not HD remaster, like straight up remake. It looks really nice and all, and people are loving it. So that's pretty cool.
Isn't like Netflix? Who did that remaster? Like I remember reading something weird. Oh no, it was Netflix is making a Resident Evil series. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, that was quite recent, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. You gonna get into some news?
Sure.
Let's get into some news.
We really need to get like a little ditty that we play.
Yeah. So, do you know who is Hbomberguy?
No. It sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber, streamer guy. So he recently did a charity stream, playing Donkey Kong 64, I believe, to completion 100%. And
I saw this title. I'm trying to remember what the punchline was. Keep going.
So it's a charity stream to donate whatever it makes to a trans charity.
Okay.
And the trans charity is located in the UK, I believe. And the reason is... Do you know Father Ted?
No.
Do you know IT Crowd?
Yes.
The creator of IT Crowd and Father Ted, or writer or whatever.
Oh, sorry, Father Ted. Yes.
Okay.
I adore Father Ted.
Okay. So the creator or writer of those two shows is the same guy, Graham.
I didn't know that.
Linehan. Yeah, I also didn't know this. And I believe somebody won like a what you call that? What you call that when you buy tickets and then you gamble? Not gamble.
A lottery?
Lottery. I think somebody won a lottery, or the charity won a lottery, something like that. And Graham Linehan, the creator / writer of IT Crime Father Ted, organized an online brigade to stop it from stopping the money to reach a charity.
Why?
Because he hates trans people. He got nothing better to do.
Wait, but like, what does he have to do? Like, he doesn't own Donkey Kong, right? He doesn't. Like, what?
No. The charity stream is a response to this online brigade.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought it was the other way around. I thought the brigade was in response to the stream.
No.
I see.
Yeah.
So the Father Ted guy's a transphobe, is what you're saying?
Most probably, yeah. Most probably also a bunch of other phobes. Brown phobe, yellow phobe, whatever phobe. So I'm not sure. But yeah.
That's like the creator of Dilbert's a huge Trump supporter.
Okay, so the charity is called Mermaids, and it's a British charity that provides counseling to children with gender dysphoria.
Okay.
Cool thing is the stream actually raised $340K. And he had like a bunch of people on, including John Romero, the Doom creator, Fallout New Vegas director Josh Sawyer, and a bunch of other people like coming on.
These are on the brigade side?
On the stream side.
Okay, good. Okay.
Should I continue naming a bunch of people that we like?
More people.
So yeah, and obviously because there's a SJW yada yada yada, a bunch of people are not liking this as well. So yeah, that's the thing that happened.
I'm not upset I didn't read that article now.
So yeah, what else? Blizzard is cutting the price of Overwatch, the standard edition, from $40 to $20, and the deluxe edition, legendary edition, from $60 to $40 permanently.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So interestingly, so the guy I play StarCraft with every week, we were like, let's try Overwatch. Everyone played Overwatch in a while. There's a couple new heroes, and so we played 3 games and had no fun and stopped playing. Like, well, we're never playing that again. That's why we stopped.
Why is it? Was it no fun?
I don't know. Like,
because everybody's super competitive on it.
Maybe. I think the game rewards teamwork so well. It makes like queuing without more than 3 or 4 people in your party. It's such a pain in the butt because it's really hard to coordinate.
It's not a pick up and play kind of game.
I don't know. I'm sure there's tons of people who do it. I have had no luck doing that. Like, I just consistently have no fun playing that game, which is a shame because like the feel of the game is really good. Like, just like moving around, the character moves feel unique. They're all cool. They look cool. It's just the actual gameplay itself. I finish and well, that was a waste of time. I don't know. Nothing redeeming at the end of the day. A lot of good bits, and the sum is a negative number somehow.
I'm
sure it's mostly me.
Talking about StarCraft 2, there is
the
an
robot
article. Oh, you're talking about the AI.
Yeah.
The DeepMind AI, the Google AI, right? Like beat a bunch of pro players.
Is it Google? But yeah, DeepMind.
Google, yeah.
Okay.
The one I'm gonna mention is Rock Paper Shotgun did an article about like the top mods for it that you can find on the store, on the official Blizzard store thing, the mod store, whatever. So yes, it's pretty cool.
It is cool. Yeah, that robot. I think they're streaming, like developing or like games involving it right now, so you can check it out. It's pretty sophisticated.
AI, man.
Yeah.
It's relevant to you, right?
How it works. Yes.
Loot boxes in Fortnite Save the World, which is the paid version, not the Battle Royale Fortnite. Save the World one. The loot boxes will show you what it has before you can open it. Now, it's no longer random. I mean, it's technically random. So basically, each day it will reset.
You just discover it differently. Oh.
So each day it will reset.
So you can see what's inside of it and choose
you can
not
see
to
what's
open
inside.
it?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an improvement.
It is. But of course, they didn't do this with the free-to-play one because that's where all the fun is.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if they can do this for the PvE, you can do it for the PvP too. There's no reason not to do it.
Yeah. It's money, man.
Oh, talking about Epic with the Fortnite stuff, the Epic Game Store new free game this couple of weeks will be... Oh shit, what is it? I just redeemed it. Oh fuck. Hold on, give me a second. I don't remember this. Epic Game Store. Oh, the Jackbox Party Pack.
It's free?
It's free for 2 weeks until February 7th.
That game is popular, I hear. Even non-gamers, like other people, I was listening to like a podcast, like, oh yeah, we played this at like the holiday over the Christmas parties. Like, these people don't play video games. It's interesting. I don't know how this game was able to. Yeah, but I don't know how it like advertised so well. So I guess I don't see commercials or anything, but I'm glad it's doing well.
I think it has up to like 5 packs now. Each pack is like a sequel to And the next free game, starting from February 7th, is Hbomberguy, which is something me and Fuas played. So yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much else other than Facebook knowingly duped kids and parents out of their money on their games.
I think I saw that article. Like Facebook
Yeah.
knowingly disenfranchised people, but it's like, or not, yeah, defrauded people. But I didn't follow up on it. What's like? I mean, I don't get what it means other than Facebook knowingly made games that could take money.
So they make it super not clear that you're spending real money.
Oh.
And kids didn't know that whatever they were buying was being bought with real money. And those thousands of dollars of credit card debt that parents rack up, they have to go to court or whatever it is they have to go to get a refund because Facebook ain't giving no refunds, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. That's insane.
Did you hear that Mark Zuckerberg said the reason people don't like Facebook is because they don't understand it? I don't know what that means.
Is this
other recent? Than I have no, I cannot relate to anybody.
Is this recent?
Yeah, like yesterday or today.
Don't think I've heard it. No.
I'll try and find the article.
Man, I really hate Reddit. The new one really hate it. I hate the new look.
Yeah, I always use old.
Yeah. And I got my first mechanical keyboard. Well.
Oh yes, what color?
It's technically not the first one I used because you know how the old PCs came with like those PCs back then came with those like old school mechanical keyboards back then.
Sure. With the strong springs.
Yeah, so I got the Tech Wave. Hold on. Tech Wave? TechWare Phantom 10 kilo sized RGB keyboard. It's one of those budget ones. It uses Otemu switches, which is basically a Cherry MX clone. And
oh, cool.
And it's really nice. Like there's a lot of good budget mechanical keyboards out there because I keep looking at reviews and stuff before I buy, right? And it's just really cool.
Yeah, I love mechanical keyboards. I should look at the cheaper ones, see if I can get one for work. The problem is, as much as I love them, I do admit they are very noisy, so I don't know that I actually want to bring one to work. But I have coworkers who have done it.
Get the linear switches.
Get what?
Linear switches,
oh,
the red
yeah,
ones.
That's true. That might help.
Yeah. And there are like thinner ones, low profile ones as well. That probably help.
For the one I have at home right now, I did at a Corsair. I did
nice.
put little foam bits between all of the keys, and that helped a little bit.
It came with it.
No.
You installed it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, so you buy like it's like a handle with like two like loops coming out, and they kind of go around the key and pull it off, and then you have like a little bits of foam that you can break off. It was really cheap.
Ah, okay.
Like $14 or something like that for the tool and the foam.
Nice. So yeah.
It's weird. Nice. $14 for that, or a whole video game. That's outrageous.
The way we look at video game prices is just different from everything else.
I blame Steam for ruining me.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's why sometimes I look at Switch games and I'm like, oh fuck, it's really expensive.
Yeah,
especially
I think I may pick up. The odds are quite high that I will pick up Smash Brothers. Although I still haven't played Zelda. I need to play more Zelda. I feel like I should beat Zelda before I play Smash Brothers because Zelda's been out longer. I've had it for a year and I haven't really played it. And if I play Smash Brothers, I'll want to get like a GameCube adapter for it, probably.
Oh yeah, are those controllers like directly from Nintendo, or are they like third-party stuff? The GameCube.
That's a good question. I assume. Actually, I have no idea, but I have seen like an adapter which can take a GameCube controller and make it interface with the Switch.
I've seen, I believe, Hori have done GameCube controllers for the Switch, I believe. So I'm not sure if there's like a first-party one directly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never used a GameCube controller. It just looks weird to me. I'm not sure if I can use it.
It's not weirder than like an N64 is super weird to me. But I mean, I think this is the most Smash Brothers I played was on the GameCube. Oh no! And so it's just so ingrained to me. Am I thinking of N64?
What's the one that with the three-prong?
Yeah, it's N64.
Oh, okay.
That's the weird one. I don't know. GameCube makes as much sense to me as it's. I feel like GameCube is like a modern controller, 2 joysticks. Although you don't really use 2 that much, but nice buttons. 4 buttons that you use. The thing I like how it's not just 4 buttons. It's like 4 buttons of different shapes too, and the layout of them is a lot nicer. That's the harder thing going to the Switch, because the Switch goes back to like 4 just in like a diamond shape, and so I'm like going to the wrong spot to try and hit B. It's just muscle memory.
One thing I forgot to mention: Pillars of Eternity 2, that top-down RPG from Obsidian. 8 months after release. So the game has been out for 8 months, and now they're releasing a new turn-based mode for their combat, which is really interesting.
It is
so
interesting.
They have to like straight up recreate a bunch of stuff, and you can decide which mode you can. But because it changes the gameplay so much, you can't go back and forth in a new game. I mean, you can't like go back and forth just in the menu. You gotta like start a new game. But that's really interesting to change up your friggin'
That sounds really hard to balance.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there was this game. There's a whole franchise actually, Might and Magic, the Might and Magic franchise. So I love Heroes of Might and Magic, which is a turn-based game. Might and Magic, set in the same universe, is a first-person
dungeon crawler
game, but at least the one I think Might and Magic 10 is supposed to be good. I've played like Might and Magic 5 or 6 or something like that, and it's one of those games where it's real time except when you're in combat. But you have to pause the game yourself and manually switch it over to turn-based mode. So you could try and fight in real time, but you get screwed because like you're trying to control a party of like 4 people inside the body of one person. Normally it's supposed to be like, okay, move over here, hit with my sword. Then it's the caster's turn, cast a fireball, and you can do, each person can take 1 action per turn, and a turn is like 5 seconds. So if you're trying to do that in real time, it's impossible. And so I remember as a kid trying to play this game, and just like a bat just like flew up and just like wrecked me. Like, what is this game? Like, how do I play it? It's impossible. Getting really upset.
But usually those games where you can pause during combat, they just hotkey the pause button to like the spacebar button, right?
Yeah, that's true. I had a hard time. So when I say kid, I mean like maybe 10 years old. Like I had a hard time figuring out buttons in game. Like my introduction to Heroes of Might and Magic was I'd bought like my family had bought like a case of Sobe, which is kind of like a smoothie soda kind of thing. I don't know if they even still make it anymore, but it came with like a demo disc for your PC that had like friggin' like 16 games under something, and Heroes of Might and Magic was one of them. And I played that game for like I don't know how long, like months, maybe a year, right? Even just the demo. But here's the kicker. I didn't know how to end the turn. So like I would like move my champion out of the castle and like attack whatever was in range, and then they'd run out of movement for the turn. And so I'd hire another one and do it, and eventually run out of money, and I would just stop the game and restart it. And just do that over and over again. Just play out the first turn essentially. And then I figured out you could hit E to end the game, and I was like, oh my gosh. Literally hashtag game changer. Also, in that demo disc, there was a game that I really liked. It was a point-and-click adventure called Elroy Hits the Pavement. I should see if I can still get a copy, because I've never played the full game, and it had a really fun like style and sense of humor to it, and like choices that mattered. Like oh, the bad guy's coming. Do you go up the stairs or down the stairs? And if you went down the stairs, you could hit like a game over state.
Oh, is it one of those text-based?
It's not. No, it was pure GUI. It was good. Maybe it's not good. My memory of it was good. There was a hard game called Bad Mojo where you played like a cockroach. I remember like you'd go into this room and a spider would attack you, and you had to like headbutt this cigarette so the spider ran into the burning end of the cigarette and died.
Yeah, adventure game.
It's very scary. Young foe.
Yeah, an accident with an enchanted locket unleashes the bad mojo, turning him into a cockroach.
I didn't even know what the story was. I assumed you were just a cockroach.
Storyline in Bad Mojo is loosely based on Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis.
Sure.
Weird as shit back then. Which I kind of miss, honestly.
Yeah, it's
everything's so shiny now.
It's that hard line of like we rag on Steam for not having any curation and just being full of crap. But on the other hand, at least stuff gets made, right? Like it's such a hard line to walk. Like I like the freedom to make things. but only make things I like, please.
I don't mind bad games getting onto Steam. It's the asset flips
The
that I have a problem
volume.
with.
Yeah. There's definitely there are a couple of layers of strata of crap, and I feel like we cut out a couple of the bottom layers.
There are games that are not so good, but that it was like properly made.
Sure, absolutely.
Those kind of games, a lot of people will like, because sometimes it's very niche. It's meant for certain people, or maybe some people can just see a certain thing that we like. But when it comes to SF flips, who the fuck likes them? Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Who does? Who makes it worthwhile? Because they wouldn't keep doing it if it wasn't worthwhile, maybe. Maybe it's just so cheap.
I think I think back then, before like a recent Steam update, they made money through Steam cards. The Steam.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I remember that being like a thing.
So they give away like free keys. People will just let the game run or use whatever third-party software to get the cards and then sell the cards, and then the developer will get a cut. Steam will get a cut, and whoever, the player, will get a cut. So, yeah.
Great.
But that also means somebody have to buy those cards.
Yeah.
I guess some people do just collect the cards to get the levels, right?
There are people, they like, there are people who will only buy games like to get, all the achievements. Like, they won't buy games if like the time to achievement ratio is too low. I feel like it's the same kind of thing.
The game for them is the meta game. That's the game. Increasing the Steam levels.
It's like a very literal meta game.
Yeah. You have anything else to bring up?
Did you see the story about Metroid Prime 4?
Oh yeah.
Getting delayed.
It's not just been delayed, right?
Starting over from scratch.
Yeah.
They're like, we're just gonna start over, you guys. Which I admire their commitment to quality.
Number one, that also it's nice they mentioned it.
Yes, that is the biggest news story, really. Like who cares that Metroid Prime 4 got delayed? A company gave us a status update. Holy cow! Like, that's like a AAA company. It's amazing.
Yeah. And they're going with the studio that created the first Metroid Prime, right? Retro Studios.
Yes.
They released a video.
I don't know what that means they were doing now. Like, I don't know what the old studio was. Like, if you could have gone with the original studio in the beginning, why wouldn't you have done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I remember being at friends' houses and playing very briefly Metroid Prime, and it was just being blown away by like seeing her reflection in the visor and like rain collecting. That was cool. But the only Metroids I've really played have been like Metroid Fusion, like the handheld ones, which are very different. Well, not very different. Different enough. There's that demo that came with the DS, which I played a little bit, but it was kind of optimized for using the stylus, which was real friggin' weird to me.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that one. I have Metroid Pinball. That's pretty fun.
Pinball is usually fun.
So Retro Studios, they created Metroid Prime, and the last game they worked on was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Wii U and Nintendo Switch.
I've heard good things about it.
I've been wanting to get a couple of games, but they just never go down in price, especially over here.
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it. I have nothing else.
Okay. I don't know that I have anything else either. Short episode.
Usually, beginning of the year is quite dry, I'd say.
That's a good point.
It'll start to pick up usually around CES, which is what, February? March? Because CES is not just election. Oh, really?
I remember because I read an article about the self-driving car. Or no, sorry, at CES they had like this. They had this really nice lidar system. Lidar's a system used for self-driving cars to detect things, basically. And so this company's making a lidar system, a better lidar system theoretically, and it was so powerful that it like broke this guy's camera who was taking a picture of it. Like every picture he took after taking a picture of the lidar had like a violet streak through it because like it burned the camera so bad or something like that. So that's why I know it happened. and I didn't hear any game news about it really.
So yeah, wrap things up.
Yeah, why not?
Do the thing.
Foehamner. I'm technically on YouTube, but I haven't really been for the past 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'll get some time to remedy that. But I don't know when that'll be. I need to finish up Battle Chasers, and I think the game I'm going to do next is Heat Signature. But we'll see. Yeah, come check it out. Drop me a comment or something.
Yeah, I'm Pupunoob, Pupunoob on YouTube and Twitter, I guess. You know what to find. So yes, this has been episode 147 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching this thing. We will see you next time.
Farewell.